Greetings. How are you doing? How are you managing the intense energies of this moment? I'm filming this on June 13th. Let me double check. Yes, it is June 13th. Very much a time slippage experience right now. And I wanted to bring in this, what's happening with the collective energies right now, and doing an intuitive card reading on them and any channeled messages that are coming through. I'm specifically going to focus for this weekend and the seeds that were planted a week ago within Los Angeles and the peaceful protests that came together to stand for and with their community, and then the spark of aggression and violence that continues to escalate by the White House, Donald Trump, and everyone within his administration, at least that we can see and know of. This weekend has a very significant energy with the astrology, and I wanted to help ground you, to help you understand why the moment is what it is, as well as how to meet this moment. How to stand in a space of deep love and anchoring into that love, and at the same time standing in complete strength and resilience and saying no. We will not stand for what is happening here. And it's a lot. If you're new here, my name is Chrissy Whistler. I am an evolutionary astrologer with the Jeffrey Wolf Green approach, which means we go very deep into the unconscious, into the darkness, to understand why our souls, why our collective humanity is having this particular experience, and the cycles that are being repeated through that. I'm also an intuitive, a channel, an oracle, and that's what I'm going to be focusing a lot on this video here. So if you are needing support right now for yourself, your family, please do reach out. I offer birth chart, astrology readings, as well as intuitive readings. You can find all that at my website at chrissywhistler.com. And if you find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. Please share. There is definitely an energy of control being heightened within social media, and the oppression and repression of certain kinds of videos, which I know that mine is also one, as well as not for everyone, which is okay too. Anyway, so that would really help me out so much to reach more people who are like you and wanting these deeper inquiries and what's going on.
Bathroom, sorry.
Okay.
Are you gonna film?
I am filming. You're fine. All right. I've already done a video on the Los Angeles protests, which I will link for you below. And as I shared in that moment in time, there was a lot of timeline slippage that's happening. What timeline is our collective humanity going to choose? Oh man, it's not ready to come out yet, but I can feel it building. What timeline will we choose as a collective? Los Angeles, the people who I'm so proud to call my neighbor, my community, they chose to meet the militaristic presence and violent actions with peace. Always there are a few outliers to that violence, but nothing like the distorted story being shared on media and by this administration. The people met this moment with peace. And when that happened, that's when I felt timeline shifting for Los Angeles and the people here. I'm getting chills as I'm saying this. And yet, there's still this overall timeline, this trying to take hold with violence, the militaristic presence, and it's hard to speak of. Again, I'm filming this Friday, June 13th, just a little afternoon, about 12:30 Pacific time. And it's like there are truths in this moment that may not be true in the next 12 hours, 24 hours, because it's going to depend on our human collective. What are the choices that we as individuals make? And then we coming together in these groups make. And that's what's going to shift things. And so that's why I can't tell you what's going to happen tomorrow, because we get to decide what that's going to be. We decide. And there is a greater story that's trying to come in saying, no, we want to decide for you. We want this to escalate into violence to give us that permission to send in the National Guard, the military, to cities all across the United States. Because when Donald Trump made that order to send in the National Guards, he did not specifically name California or Los Angeles. So I'm really wanting to speak to this energy of violence. I woke up this morning on Friday, June 13th, feeling that beat of the war drums. And I felt it coming in as well last night. Trying to push us onto that timeline. As well as, and I'm just going to bring this in to really acknowledge, it's not being spoken and shared about, the plane in India that crashed and 280 people with one survivor. No, I'm not right on the exact number, but one person lived and everybody else died. And I also want to acknowledge that yesterday evening, my time, Israel launched an attack on Iran. So war, the beating of war drums is very strong right now. And it's up to each of us individually to really anchor into our hearts and to hold firm in what we stand for and what we will not allow. I've been speaking about the astrology. In the Galactic Mayan calendar on Wednesday, we began a 13-day period of the blue storm. We are in a blue rhythmic storm year. We'll have another year starting July 26th. This is the year of the storm. We are in a wave spell of the storm. What does the storm do? It's going to come in and create destruction. In order to catalyze change. So yes, we are in the eye of the storm right now. And I want you to keep in mind as well as all of this stuff in the world is playing out and will play out. How it comes out to play, we don't know. We get to choose as a collective. But a storm is playing out. And just remember how it feels after a storm is past. The purifying, cleansing energy, it's come in and taken out all the crud, all the shit, even some good stuff too, right? And it's that opportunity to rebuild. This weekend, on the 15th, but it's not just only the 15th. We are obviously in this energy right now. If you're watching, you can feel it. We have Mars, last 29 degrees of Leo, square to Uranus, 29 degrees in Gemini. Mars, Uranus, hard aspects like this, squares, very volatile energy. Combustible. Is it any surprise that we're feeling this push for war? A distorted Mars, Aries energy. Militaristic domination. No, it's not surprising. And Uranus, high octave Uranus, is the revolutionary. It is that energy of divine discontent coming in to say, no, this shit can be done better. I'm going to be that sort of truth to cut through the bullshit and to bring in that future, to experiment, to see what that is. Very revolutionary, pioneering energy. So, holding the peace, even as there will more than likely be some kind of militaristic attempt at oppression. Anchoring in right here, right into our hearts, right into what we're standing for. In addition, we have the exact final square between Saturn and Aries. So there's again that distorted militaristic energy. Saturn's next to Neptune and a squaring to Jupiter. So Jupiter in Cancer trying to bring us, to remind us back into home, into our emotions. We may very well be experiencing a disillusion around our government, Saturn, in this military warrior over the top approach, a changing of our beliefs in government. So that is the energy that we've got at play right now and that we are coming into. We also have Eris conjunct Chiron right now in Aries. All of these Aries or energies are ruled by that Mars in Leo, squaring Uranus. Very powerful moment in time where we are being called to rise up and to stand and to fight for the underdog, Eris, to cause discord in order to come into actual harmony, actual equality. And with Chiron there is a need to see within ourselves and society and the people who are making these choices, following these actions, even if you don't believe in their choice, to see and understand how they might be coming from this deeper wounded place they haven't been willing to see yet. All right, so I just want to read for a moment from Return of the Mother, Return to Love. This is by Sharon Mackerlane. And to those of us who have chosen to stand and to speak up, who might be feeling this, what are you going to tell your children in 10 years and 20 years? What you did in this moment. I just want to share this wisdom from the grandmothers to you. I found it very powerful and very helpful for me stepping into this strength that I hold and speaking up that you also hold. There's great upheaval right now. And the grandmothers have been sharing and speaking about this for the past almost 30 years. When you speak to men, and also when you speak to one another, the grandmother said, speak from your heart. Speak the truth in a clear way. Speak it in a kind way, a non-defamatory way. And when you open your mouth to speak of difficult issues, think of voicing the truth so that all generations can hear it. Speak only what you would be proud for those in the future to hear. And when you speak, think of the good that you want to take place on earth, not only for yourself, but for all beings. If you think like this, they said, your words won't wound as they otherwise might. You will be heard, and you won't waste your energy in anger and lashing out. Speak the truth. Speak it as a woman of power, which is what you are, they said, giving me a long, steady look. A real woman who seeks the highest good for all beings. Say the things that are hard to say. Speak these things for the good of all. As you do this, you will honor all beings. People will hear you. They will listen and pay attention. There's much more, but I will let you explore that if that is calling. But I really wanted to bring in the grandmothers and to say as well that my intention is to speak for the future generations. And it is to speak in response to what is happening here. And this is what Christy Nome said in Los Angeles on June 8th, just before our United States California senator was shoved out of a room after asking a question. He wanted to ask a question, and he said exactly who he was. He was immediately grabbed, pulled out of the room, shoved to the floor, and put in handcuffs. This is what he was asking her, because this is what she said. We are not going away. We are staying here to liberate this city from the socialists and the burdensome leadership that this governor and this mayor have placed on this country and what they have tried to insert into this city. A direct attack on the people who democratically elected these leaders. This I will not stand for. This I will not stay silent about, or what may be coming next from this administration to other cities. I'm just going to put this over here. So, thank you for allowing me to take that time to share with you the energy, what's going on, and now I'd like to get into some of the readings. Oh, gosh. So, I mentioned Aries. One thing I've been feeling very strongly coming through is the righteous wrath of the feminine, of the divine feminine. A deep strength rising up, even coming from our Mother Earth itself, as we are seeing from all the earthquakes, the volcano eruptions that are happening. This is also part of the Uranus square to Mars. So what I decided to do was go to the Goddess Power Oracle deck, and I pulled some cards because I knew I was being guided to do this reading. And let me just flip to where I need to go. Okay. This is the first card that came out. Freya. Radical acceptance. Except she came out in reverse. So, going to the book, failure and disappointment are parts of life that few want to accept. Perhaps a job you want doesn't come through. A lover you thought was the one betrays your hopes and expectations, or maybe your kids are acting out. Maybe a long-term creative project didn't yield the success you so dearly hoped for. Or perhaps you were hurt by someone for no apparent reason. Goddess of War and Radical Acceptance, Freya, says, have no fear. This is only temporary. Now is not the time to linger in perceptions of low self-worth. Your alignment task is to accept the truth wholeheartedly and see your situation exactly for what it is. She will bring you to a place of surrender where you have time to heal. Freya knows you will emerge stronger and wiser. Only good will come out of this. Trust the goddess Freya is watching over you. Now, what I immediately felt is, for some people who believed in Donald Trump, in what he was trying to do, they are going to be feeling this deep disappointment and betrayal. Now, when I say even the word betrayal, I can hear it's like the seeds are being planted. The people don't know how they have been betrayed by him. They don't know it yet because they're so caught up in their own pain, which is coming out in this projection in the form of anger. And there's, working with our own unconscious, most people don't want to do that. So instead of looking at ourselves and our wounds, we project that outwards onto somebody else. In this case, the focus is on immigrants and undocumented individuals. Focus your pain on there. Don't actually look deeper within yourself and even your own beliefs that have actually betrayed you. A lover you thought was the one betrays you. That's a big betrayal. I'm even feeling again that Saturn-Neptune conjunction. And we need to have radical acceptance for this moment. This is also about the people in the United States, and this may be for people in other countries. I don't know exactly where you're coming from and what your political stance is, so just consider this however it feels right for you. There is a need for radical acceptance in what is. This isn't about what we believe or the illusions we are putting on truth. This is the time to radically accept and to see it for what it is. To surrender to the energies of this moment. That is what Freya is really asking us. Accepting the truth, not the illusion. And the second card that came out was Artemis with focus. She was also in the reverse position. Sometimes you can be so focused on one thing, one way, one outcome, or one expectation that you run the risk of losing the opportunity to experience what you genuinely desire. You become so fixed that you become blind to what is truly yours and what will be for your highest and best good. So this is a couple meetings. Obviously, there is this intense focus on one truth, one story, and which has been distorted. And we've got Freya here coming in with this, no, you've actually got to fully see the truth and accept it for what it is. But what I also felt with this message is, even for those who are standing and who are rising, there's a need to understand that this moment is exactly what it needs to be, even though there are true victims and cruelty and suffering. I'm not discounting that. I'm not minimizing that. That is true. And yet, we're needing to wake up to the truth. And the only way we can often do that, to come out of our comfort zone, is when painful things happen. Think of those moments in your life those dark night of the soul moments where you are completely brought to your knees. And in that place, in that position, you become transformed. You rise up even stronger. That is exactly where the United States is being brought to. I'm feeling the energy of the grandmothers as well. There is something beautiful on the other side. And we can't see it, but you might be able to feel it. That this darkness, this dark night of the soul, our country is going through, humanity is going through, is bringing us there, to that light, and to hold it. Also, there's an invitation to focus on what you genuinely desire. What do you truly desire? What makes your heart sing? What is the world that you want to be living in? One with compassion and light. Focus on that. Even with all the stuff that's happening, that is where you need to hold. We all need to hold right there. Now, the next card, let me just get to the right page. We have Hecate, the in-between. And she was also in reverse. There are times when you find yourself stuck between worlds, unable to go back to the way things were and afraid to move forward without knowing what you're facing. This indecision can be crippling, but you can't stay forever in the in-between. Make a move. It doesn't matter if you stumble or fall. After all, you can always course correct. Bring love to the part of you that is afraid, that has lost faith. Remember, you are not alone. The goddess Hecate will not abandon you in the dark, nor will you remain there for long. Consider, as you move forward through life, the sacred challenge of trusting the magic that makes this world and your part in it sing with meaning. Don't be afraid to step into the dark. The goddess Hecate will raise her torch and show you the way out. We are absolutely in between worlds, and it is necessary to step into the darkness and to know that we, me, you, we are the ones that will hold and carry the torch for ourselves and for all others. We are the ones that we've been waiting for to light that way forward. Don't forget that. The last one that I pulled from this deck, Ein with adaptability. And she came out right side up. Adaptability is a power you'll need to rely on. The old familiar you, the one who's used to your comfort zone, is now invited to dance in uncharted territory. Questions to ask yourself as you step into the unknown. Who do I need to become in order to experience this life I desire? What in me needs to shift so I can welcome this amazing abundance? So here again is the reminder. Moving through that darkness, the abundance is waiting for us, but we have to be adaptable. We have to be ready. Oh, okay, let me see what else. Which deck? Okay. So we're going to pull from the Elemental Oracle and see what else we can add to this message. Really asking for guidance for this weekend. That finally feels better. It's really lodged in my throat or my deep chest. What do we need to know right now for this weekend, for this energy, guidance? Ooh, okay. Oh, there's a lot of energy. We have expansion with North. Oh, and I'm really getting very emotional as I look at this card. There's, I don't know if you can see it. There's a woman on a boat in the Arctic waters. She's holding what's probably a small lantern, and behind her is lit with the beautiful auroras. This is uncharted waters. So it's both, we don't know where we're going, and we do. Our hearts, our lights, the divine is what's calling us forward. And we need to find and follow that. That is our true north. Our hearts, the wonder, the magic. Even when we may be surrounded by darkness. Now remember, this is at night. You can only see the northern lights when it's dark, when there is no sunlight. The darkest before the dawn. When it is dark is when the light can shine. And we are being shown that we have that potential and that possibility inside of us. That each one of us is a brilliant, shining light in these dark times. And will you allow yourself to get lost in that darkness? In these uncharted waters, the unknown. Will you be lost, get lost in order to find yourself? If you do, there's a lot of, it's like opportunities. But it's like this whole, I'm feeling this expansion of your entire being can come through. The next card is gravity with groundedness. And, oh my goodness, she is, this young woman, she's sitting on the earth, being held up by moths, the planets around her. But then there's also these animals that are reaching out. So, okay, for this weekend again, this energy, again, the War of Drums, you need to stay grounded. You need to be anchored into the earth. Yes, there is a weight and a gravity of this moment. And you also need to understand that what you are doing is not just for yourself or for your children. We are doing it for our earth and our earth mother and all who live here. I'm just being reminded that if you don't know, I deeply care about the natural world. And we're always camping every month, me and the children. And part of the big, beautiful bill is to sell off our public lands to be used for minerals. Our public lands, they don't belong to the government to be sold off. They belong to the country, to the people, to the animals. It's no longer just about us. It hasn't ever been just about us. But please know, it's, right now in particular, is not just about us. Oh my goodness. We have creation with water. And I'm getting very emotional because this is a grandmother. I do a lot of work with the grandmothers. And here's this confirmation from them. That we are held. No matter what you see happening out there, no matter what happens this weekend, or how badly things may look, know this. And she's got white doves surrounding her and a beautiful white light behind her. This is doves of peace, Christ consciousness, the divine, God, whatever name you would like to put to this. This is what is holding us in this moment. Water is very purifying. Here I am, I'm crying. I can't seem to stop. Cleansing, purifying. It's also this, I'm feeling this destruction energy, this war energy is bringing us into this, it's been here all the whole time, this new creation that's on the other side of it. That it may look like one thing, war, destruction, complete loss of like democracy here, but it's actuality, it's not. There is this higher divine plan and play that's bringing us into this new creation. And there's a need, again, she's holding up her hands, there's a need to surrender to this plan, to surrender to this moment and to what is, and to trust, to have faith that we are held, right? Faith that we don't know where we're going. We don't know how this is going to turn out, or in the exact ways it's going to turn out. I don't even know. I feel that I have a sense, and yet I also know that that sense is wrong. It's going to be something even better than I can possibly imagine, that we are paving the way for, the groundwork for this energy. And if you are interested in more work with the grandmothers, I'll have it posted below, but netoflight.org, And I also hold monthly grandmothers meetings online where we work with the net of light and send prayers, holding and anchoring this to all who need it on the planet. And that's going to be happening next Friday. So if you're interested, please reach out. And all of the grandmothers' work is free. They are for everyone. And then here on the bottom of the deck, we have attraction with magnetism. And I really feel, again, here's this invitation. This child is staring into the darkness. And yet what do they see? All the lights, the stars, the beauty. And here's that choice of, if we only focus on what is destruction, what is the distortion, that militaristic dominance, that's all we're going to attract. That's what we're going to magnetize to us. We have to do both. There's this need to stand and to hold, to witness, to be this emotional container. That's what the grandmothers speak of. To hold, to witness the emotions, the water of all that's happening, and yet at the same time, what are we creating? Hold and witness the pain, what's happening in Gaza, this new threat of strikes and war and violence in the Middle East between Israel and Iran, because not like they'd have enough problems on their hand, right? Like, seriously, come on. But again, it's witnessing, and what are we here to create? What are we here to call forward? Okay. All right, let's add in some astrology and see what else guidance that we can bring to this message, this moment that we are all here for. Our souls came for this moment. We said yes to it because we knew we could hold it. We knew we could be here for it. All right. What else? Guidance, please, for the astrology. Okay. First card. We have Mars with force. And I've been talking quite a bit about Mars, Aries energy. Mars is the ruler of all those energies in Aries. Okay, what else? What do we do with this? How do we shape and work with Mars? We shape and work with Mars by putting on our Virgo. We need to analyze. We need to mentally discern what is truth from what is illusion right now. This is very curious. Mars, as I said, last degree of Leo, moving into Virgo on Tuesday, June 17th. So that's going to be right before we have our summer solstice, and there's also critical geometry at play with the planets. It usually has a very strong effect on the sun and the solar activity we receive. I feel that there's going to be a shift of energy with Mars going into Virgo. I feel that these two coming out like that, I feel that whatever happens this weekend is actually going to really set the stage for this new focus of energy into Virgo, into actually being able to mentally discern what is even truly healthy. You know, like healthy for ourselves, but also for like our country. Okay, there's something else here. What is that? Please add to this message Mars in Virgo. Mars going into Virgo. What does that mean? What will that mean for us? What potential can that bring? Wow. Lunar eclipse change. Wow. Okay. The more that we can actually step into this ability to discern, to analyze, to see, is going to continue to bring in these, it's not even seeds. It doesn't feel like seeds with this eclipse card. Wow. So the last video that I did was the solar eclipse. Now we have the lunar eclipse. See, the reason why this doesn't feel like a seed is because our solar eclipse is the seed planting moment. Something new has been initiated. But the lunar eclipse, this is about a completion or an illumination. There's going to be an illumination of what we're seeing. The force, the distorted, overwhelming force that is taking place right now, the potential for it as well over this weekend, and we're going to be able to actually see and analyze what's going on. And I feel that's for like this greater collective. There's a possibility for people to actually have a deeper self-reflection on what is happening and their part to play in all of this, their role in allowing this to happen. This actually feels like it could be a very sudden change. Eclipses are these crossroads moments where everything suddenly that you thought was true gets ripped out from under you. And that's what it's feeling like. Not for everybody, for sure, not for everyone. I'm not speaking about that, but for the people that are open, and there's more that are open than we actually know about. They have the option to really tap into that. And for those as well, know that, again, we're going to see things playing out in the world. Don't become so fixated on what's happening that there becomes that heaviness and that bogged down that there is no possibility of changing, or there is no hope, or there's not the beauty that's being created through this. Like, we need to stay open to that. We need to stay open to that change. Okay, let's get one more card from this deck. Let's see, what else about this change? Oh my gosh, Leo, I will. I got this card when I filmed about the energy of the Los Angeles protests. People are going to realize their own willpower, that they one of the energies at play, as you can see, is there is this repeat of 1933, 1930s, of the rise of Hitler and the Nazi Party, and how they actually first went after the political opponents by basically naming that they're criminals. They are the ones that are a threat to government. We need to go after them and silence them. So there is this playing out. That's the energy, lower octave of Aquarius. Polar opposite of Aquarius is Leo. Us stepping into our own strength and our confidence in being the royal of our own story. Like this I will is what we are remembering, this opportunity, this change of almost leaving the group think of force, of over militarization behind, and remembering who we actually are. Wow. And there's more, there's going to be more to come. And on the bottom of this deck, we have the North Node, life's purpose. So, wow. This is the direction that our collective humanity is choosing to go through. That's what the North Node means. This is our evolutionary direction. This is new. This is not comfortable. We've not done it before. We have no idea where we're going. That is the energy of the North Node. And yet, it is our purpose. This moment in time is what we've come for. This is it. Can we surrender to that? You know, for myself, I felt my own awakening, my Leo, my will, that I need to speak, that I can't stay silent. To speak out. I'm doing it publicly on social media, which is kind of a scary, nasty place to be sometimes, or a lot of the times, right? I'm doing it anyway. And I'm sure many of you are. And if you're not, you know, where can you stand out of your comfort zone and step into this new direction? All right. So let's see if we can add any more with this astrology before we move on. Okay, we've got, oh my goodness, Jupiter, abundance. This is another card that I pulled last time. I don't even know what to say. This is time. Oh, there's a hummingbird. Oh my goodness. Jupiter is all about expansion. So Jupiter has to do with expansion. Again, North Node. If we do this, if we really lean into our emotions, Jupiter is in Cancer, which is all about the water, the emotions, safe space. If we do that, wow. Yes, we have a completely new world on our hands. The one that we genuinely desire. And speaking of North Node, our North Node is right now in Pisces. So are we having an existential crisis? Are we having to surrender to forces greater, outside of our control? We have no control over what's happening. It's all in the hands of the divine and our own small sparks. Okay, what else about this? This moment in time. We have ascendant, entrance. That's really curious. Okay, so we're entering into something new, but I will also say with this card, I've been speaking about the, oh goodness, which one is it? I don't remember. Mars, Uranus, I feel it's the Mars-Uranus square is on Donald Trump's ascendant. And if it's not Mars-Uranus, it's Jupiter-Saturn. Jupiter-Saturn square is hitting his ascendant. I can't quite remember which one. But what's really interesting is, yeah, there's something to do with him. I don't. That's when I see this card. I just watched that video from another astrologer. I don't remember who it was. And that really stood out for me. I don't know why. But I'm not here to read on him and what might happen to him, the potentials of that. If it's Mars-Uranus square, I feel like it was. And the last time he had that square, it was the assassination attempt? sorry, I'm just kind of all over the place with that, but there's something with him, and the ascendant is how the world sees us. There could be a change with how the world sees him, but to bring it back to us, because that's who really matters, is me and you, and how we meet this moment, this energy, is how does the world see us? And are we willing to step into this new unknown north, right? This north node. How do we see ourselves? The people in our community, how do they see us? And there's an opportunity for change. Okay, what else? We have 10th house with authority, another repeat card from last time. This has everything to do with government and structure. So there's obviously a chance for opportunity of how people perceive a change in government, in authority. There's this discernment energy, this ability to actually analyze and see what's really been going on, and is that what we're standing for? Wow. Okay. Can I get one more, please? I'll take one more. What else with this? Oh. Okay. Okay, I got a couple cards. So we have tension. This is the square. Boy, we've been talking about squares. Saturn square Jupiter and Mars square Uranus. Okay, so tension. Of course there's tension. There's tension with structure, and there's a tension around relationships. 7th house. Are we truly equal? 7th house also has to do with justice and equality. And yeah, we're discerning that. Is that true? Is there actual justice? No, there's not. Bottom of the deck, we've got 4th house with home, which the energy of home came through in the last reading as well. 4th house is where Jupiter is. That's the energy of Cancer. So this is also having to do with home and family. Again, the emotions. Are we truly emotionally safe? Okay. Okay, I'm really feeling called to go to this Lemurian deck. This is quite a powerful deck. Let's see what we get from it. And then I like to end on some guiding light cards. I do appreciate you all for being here with me. I know my videos are not exactly short, but I'm doing them for you. I'm doing them for this moment in time, for myself, to offer back hope, guidance, understanding what's happening, why it's happening. So can we get some information about that? Okay. Let's keep going. About this moment in time, some hope and inspiration for people. Okay, we'll go through these in a minute. Okay, I just want that one. Okay. Wow. Okay. So this one I need to use the book for because they're quite potent. But I will not read all of it because we'd be here for a lot longer. All right, so this first card that came out was a dolphin card with ether and matter. Let me show that to you and just let you. I see this, and it's the striking of how they're deeply looking into each other's eyes. They're not blinking. They are not looking away. We can't look away from this moment. And that is how we are going to bridge heaven into earth, by not looking away and by seeing ourselves in the other. There's magic in that. This card has to do with new life, non-judgment, traveling dimensions, this holistic integration. Dance between ether and matter tells us about bringing heaven on earth, even if painful moments come up in the process. I'm just scanning. Oh yeah, the dolphins, their joy are here. There's an invitation. The baby dolphin in you is invited to incarnate on our planet through joy and play rather than rigidity. And of course, rigidity, that old, with this patriarchy world that we live in, there's no play. It is about survival of the fittest. Didn't you feel earthbound if you grounded yourself in the ways of the old paradigm? The tree's roots are beautiful, but you don't need to be grounded in a way that limits your movements. Now you're finding you're grounded within through weaving your highest truth into your multifarious experiences on earth, like a dolphin weaving their path in the ocean. Perhaps you feel your inner child's coming forward for healing. I'm hearing inner child, but also all of your parts coming forward to heal right now. This opportunity, this interplay between dimensions and the cosmic flow. Non-judgment, holding yourself in non-judgment. Okay. Then we have this card here. It's a card of Source, number 11. The universe. Just looking at it, taking in the butterflies, all the light. I just feel so deeply held by the divine right now. Okay, let's look at that one. An 11, powerful number right there. This is a card linked to Metatron, Archangel Metatron, wholeness. It is the microcosm and the macrocosm. And that's something we were talking about, is this seeing within ourselves the different parts. We can't change, for example, what's being done by the administration in my country or you yours, but we can change within ourselves and bring healing to those parts where there is a resonance with what they're doing. That is within us to do. Metatron lets you see from a higher altitude to show you that each being is supported even if they feel small or limited in their human skin. Let go of the magnetic mind. Miraculous opportunities are able to manifest by opening up to this divine support. Divine support through the what? Through the storm. The storm that is bringing such catalyzation, transmutation, transformation, purification. And then this last one from this deck is the blue ray being. This storm is bringing us to this space of love, of connection. Okay, let's just briefly look at that one. Okay. Direct divine expression, a bridge between dimensions. Cosmic communication, education, extraterrestrial. This has to do with the children, especially the children who have and hold the blue ray within them. These children who are guides, teachers, healers of the new paradigm. Can you receive their love and compassion? And I feel as well, I'm hearing is this is actually part of why we're going through this time, is to clear, to purify, to purge the land, the earth, her vibration, in order to really hold and support the new children that are coming in. These high vibrational children, they who give light and direction to the lost, guide others further along their path. Okay. So I feel like we've covered so much in this reading. I hope it's been helpful for you. Please let me know in the comments below your experience, what you're going through at this time. So let's finish this up. Is there any last messages from Spirit to share for us as we move into this very potent weekend? Let's see what we've got. Okay, I've got a couple of them. All right, let's see what these ones are. Oh my goodness. I just want you to take that in for a moment. Blessing in disguise. You're being asked not to prejudge your current set of circumstances. We're going through all of this muck and challenge to get to hear this world that we are creating and holding for our children. Of course, we have the challenger. Your relationships could be challenging you in a very painful way. So, yes, everything that's happening right now, I don't even want to call it politics. It's not even politics anymore. Everything that's happening to destroy our democracy is a challenge. But again, try not to prejudge it. It's happening for a reason. Oh, goodness. It is happening for a reason. And on the other side of this shitstorm, of this dark night of the soul, is a blessing. Again, blessings, blessings. Heaven is rushing in and showering you with blessings. Open your heart to receive it. Keep your heart open even as you see these challenges. There is a need to rise above. And I can't make up these cards. You will gain clarity on this current situation when you see it from a higher perspective. And last one, divine intervention. Get ready for a miracle. You are in the midst of a divine intervention. And I had the blessing to meet with Sharon McErlane, who brought through and channeled the Great Council of Grandmothers. And we were talking about this, because she's been doing this for 30 years, sharing the grandmother's message. And I was like, how are you doing this? Like, reading her books from 20 years ago, and she's like, oh my gosh, grandmothers, you're never going to believe what's happening. And now what's happening? I'm like, how are you doing it? And I asked her as well what she thought. You know, I have deep faith. I have the astrology as a guiding light for me. I have the children. You know, I have two of these divine beings in their own unique ways. I've been in their presence, and these children are pure magic. And I'm sorry, they're not coming to our earth just to see her blow herself, like get blown up by all of us humans being stupid. And Sharon even shared with me, she was like, no, the grandmothers are very, very clear on this. We are not being destroyed. The fat lady has not sung yet, and she is not going to. So remember, there are miracles coming as this necessary need to see everything in the darkness right now. Everything in the shadows that is challenging for us to see these truths that still exist in our society. We need to see them. And it's bringing us to somewhere, if we can rise above it. So I hope this is helpful for you. If nothing else, this video will go out into the ethers and will be supporting everyone who is choosing to stand. You know, again, this weekend in particular, no King's protest here, but it's not just about this single moment in time. We're in a big divine dance, the chessboards, the necessary movement that's happening. And I hope this will bring you support and guidance, especially when you feel deeply challenged by authority, by governments. Please know that is not the world that we've come through. That old world is done. It's done. We've came for this. To bring heaven to earth. That's what we're here for. That is what we are being part of. And I am so grateful to be a part and on this journey with you. And remember, if you need extra support, if you would like an astrology birth chart reading to understand your soul, why you are having the experiences you're having, or an intuitive reading that feels more comfortable for you, please reach out. And like this video, share it. Let's get out and spread to more people who are ready. You know, they're ready for a shift in their own ability to analyze and discern, to change what's happening and what their beliefs are. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you out there for those protests, and know that I am standing right beside you. Call on the divine, call on the grandmothers, whoever feels right for you. Call on them and know that you are not alone. Thank you. And I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.